What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. I'm so excited to bring this video to you guys today. Being that it's summertime, we're going to be using your air conditioners more. It might be the first time you used your air conditioner this season. And I know with this car, when I first turn my AC on in the morning, I get a slight musty, mildewy odor coming out of the vents. And I want to show you guys how to correct that problem if you have that. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, if you watch a couple of other YouTube videos, different people have different ways of doing it. I'm going to show you the right way. It's a two-step process. You're not just going to simply spray Lysol into the vents and call it a day. It's not going to do anything. It's going to mask the odor. So what you need to do is use a cleaner, and you're going to introduce that cleaner through the evaporator drain under the car, and it's going to foam up, and it's going to basically encapsulate that whole evaporator core, and it's going to kill and remove any mold, mildew, anything that's on that core. It's going to drain right out the bottom, and it's going to leave your system completely clean. And then we follow up with a deodorizer that will freshen the system up. So what I use here, this is made by Toyota for Toyota, but you can use this on any make, model, manufacturer car that you want. So like I said, this is a two-step process. So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to use the foam. You use the foam in two steps. You use half the can the first time, let it drain. The second half the second time, let it drain. So the first thing we need to do is we need to lift this car up and we need to locate the AC evaporator drain. On Toyotas, they're usually all in the same spot, right about dead center of the car underneath the dashboard area. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you exactly where that drain is. And then once we locate it, we're going to go ahead and remove our cabin air filter. Now, you might want to do this when you're getting ready to change your filter. I recently changed mine, so we're just going to remove it for the time being, and then I'm going to put it right back in. But if you haven't changed your filter yet, it would be a good idea to buy one, have one ready when you're getting ready to do this. That way you can put the new one in at the same time. Let's jack the car up. I'm going to either jack it up or maybe I'll get some ramps and drive it right up. That might be easier. And I'll show you exactly where the drain is and exactly how to do it. Alright guys, so as you can see behind me, we do have the car jacked up. Jack's under it right there. And we also have it supported by jack stands. Super important. Anytime you're going to be crawling under your car, make sure you have it supported with some jack stands and a decent jack. You don't want this car falling on you, ruining your life. So now that we have the car lifted up, we're going to go ahead and locate that AC evaporator drain, which on this car is going to be right there. It's that little nipple hanging down, you'll see right there. So all you want to do is crawl under your car about, like I said, right around under the dashboard is usually where they're at, and just look for a little piece of rubber, hose, or something like that hanging down. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use this mason jar that I have over here to collect whatever comes out of this thing, because I want to see exactly what's going to come out of here. Maybe we'll see some dirt, dust, debris, things like that. And I want to show you guys whatever we catch. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But the next thing we're going to do is go ahead, get in the car, and we're going to remove that cabin air filter because we don't want it in there when we're doing this. So let me do that. I'll show you how to do it. We'll be right back. So removing the cabin filter from this car is super easy. You're just going to open your glove box. You have this little strut here. Use your thumb, push that off, and then you're going to grab the glove box at its corners. Kind of something like this. And pull down. And you'll feel it release. And then, like so, you'll be able to see the door right there for your cabin filter. So we're going to go ahead, open the door, and we're going to pull our cabin filter out. Now we actually are going to have to replace this cabin filter because it looks like we had a little bit of a mice issue in here. So that might be why I have some smell. So let's get a new cabin filter, go from there. So this is actually what we removed from our cabin filter. And in this area, especially in the winter, this is actually super common. I saw this a lot in the dealership, so I'm honestly really not surprised. But if you open up your cabin filter and you find evidence of rodents, that's even more of a reason to go ahead and perform this service, because it's going to clean any germs or anything that was in that evaporator. It's going to clean it out and basically disinfect it. So I'm super glad we're going to be doing this. So what we went ahead and did is put the door for the cabin filter back in so that it's basically going to be sucking in air from outside, because that's the way we want it for the second part of this service. But we're just going to go ahead and perform this service, and then while it's draining and doing its thing, I'm going to go out and buy a cabin filter. So like I said, let's get under the car, let's get this set up. I'll show you exactly how to use it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is separate these two bottles, because this is our first stage, this is our second stage. So we're going to take this off, we're going to remove this cap, and we're going to install this hose onto the bottle like so. Alright, so now we have this all set up, and let's get under the car and show you exactly what we're going to do next. Alright, so here we are under the car. We're going to take this cone and place it as firmly as we can into our evaporator drain. So I'm going to go ahead, push that in nice and tight, and then we're going to go ahead and start spraying the cleaner in. Alright, so we have our cleaner here. We're going to pull the cap off, the protective cap, like so, and we're going to make sure we shake this pretty good, and we're going to start spraying our cleaner in. Like I said, we're going to do half a bottle, we're going to let it drain, give it a shake, spray a little more. I'm hitting the key in my pocket on accident, sorry. Give it a shake. You always want to shake it. Give it a shake. Give it a shake, and like I said, half a bottle. Give it a shake. And that should be about half. So now we're going to pull this out, and we're going to let this stuff solidify. And then after it solidifies, it's going to liquefy, and it's going to clean everything and anything that may or may not be in that evaporator core. You'll see it start draining shortly. Let's get it on video. Here it comes. Key keeps getting hit in my pocket. I should probably take the keys out of my pocket. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, let this finish draining, then we'll go ahead and do our second half. Alright guys, time to do the second half and the rest of the can. Give it a shake. Oh, popped out. Let me get it back in. Alright, so we emptied the whole can in there, minus what we sprayed on the floor. And we're just going to go ahead, let it soak, let it drain. Alright guys, so we let this sit for about 10-15 minutes under the car and finish draining. And you can see just all the junk and crud and nastiness that was sitting in that evaporator core, and just how discolored this liquid is. So this is definitely a service that is going to do you a good service, you know what I mean? And it's going to clean your evaporator core and housing out. extremely well. So now I'm gonna run to the store. I'm gonna go grab myself a new cabin filter, and we're gonna go ahead and do the second stage when I return. Alright guys, so we ended up going to Advanced Auto Parts, and I got this Bosch premium cabin air filter. I usually don't like going to Advanced or AutoZone or any of those places. I usually order my stuff from Rock Auto, but I needed one at a pinch. That or I use Amazon. So I'm going to drop a link down below for a cabin filter. If you need one, you can buy right from that link. We'll get a small cut. And I'm also going to drop this Toyota two-step cleaner or something similar. If I can't find the Toyota stuff, I will drop something similar to it down in the comment section or in the description below, so you can purchase that from there as well. Again, if you purchase from there, we get a small cut. So now that we let this thing sit and drain, you know, I let it sit in here for about an hour while I ran out and did some things. We're gonna go ahead and do the second step. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your air conditioner on full cold, but you don't want the air conditioner on. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna have your compressor running, but what we are gonna do is start the car. Okay, we're gonna go to full, you know, blower speed, and we're gonna do the face first. So we're gonna set it so it's blowing out of these top vents. We're gonna make sure all of our vents here are open, and we're going to use that cleaner with the cabin filter removed. All right, and we're gonna spray this in for about a minute into the fresh air intake, which is right under here. So we're gonna go ahead for a minute or so and just spray right down in here so that all this cleaner gets into the HVAC assembly. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to change modes. We're going to switch it to floor. Alright, and we're going to do the same thing, because we want to deodorize and clean the whole HVAC assembly. And what this is doing is it's going in and deodorizing, it's cleaning, and it's basically killing any bacteria or anything that may have been left behind. Disinfecting, that's the word I wanted. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put it into frost. Now, one thing they tell you to do, you don't really have to, but you could, is to disable your AC compressor, which the plug is right here. If I can get it out, I will. If not, it's not really a huge deal. So I'm not going to bother with it. But when you put it into frost mode, they do tell you, if possible, to disengage your AC compressor. The only other way that we could possibly do that is if we came in here and looked for the fuse for the air condition and pulled that. But it's really not that big of a deal, so we're not even going to worry about it. Go ahead and spray the rest of this in. And then we're going to let the car run just like this for about 5 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and switch this back over to this guy right here. We're going to put it on combination foot and face. Feet and face. And we're just going to go ahead and spray the rest of this can in. Make sure we get every last drop of this stuff. We paid good money for it. Alright, and that should be it. So we're going to let the car run for about 5 minutes. Let that stuff circulate and deodorize. We'll be back with you. Alright guys, so we let the car run for about 5 minutes with that stuff for circulating. We now have all the windows down to let the car air out. So we're going to go ahead, reinstall our new cabin air filter by pulling the glove box down, removing this door, and I am just going to stick my hand down in here in the squirrel cage, they call this, and make sure that there are no acorns or any foreign debris in the blower motor like this, because if there is, it will throw the blower motor off balance and you'll actually get like a vibrating sensation from the dashboard, and it can also cause the bearings in your blower motor to fail prematurely. So always make sure you get in there, make sure there's nothing in there that's gonna throw that blower motor off balance, no debris, no dirt, nothing like that. So that seemed nice and clean. So we're gonna go ahead and install our new cabin air filter, paying attention to which direction it wants to be installed. So it wants the airflow down, so the air gets sucked in. So this arrow is going to face down, like so. You're going to go ahead, reinstall our door here. We're going to reinstall our glove box. This strut we removed. We're going to go ahead. It's a little tricky sometimes, but you're going to pull this down, back into place. Alright, and that just about does it. Doing this service will completely clean your whole evaporator housing. It'll clean your heater core. It'll clean all of your ducts, and it will leave the inside of your car smelling beautifully. So if this video helped you, refresh your air conditioning system, deodorize your air conditioning system, and disinfect your air conditioning system, leaving you with a fresh smell, please like, share, subscribe, buy the products that I link down below that'll help you do this. We'll get a small cut for it. We appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.